Electric cars are not clean. Let me be clear, electric cars are a climate solution already today. They also offer us a genuine route to climate neutral mobility. And we at Polestar see the amazing possibility we now have as an industry to build a way of moving about that has a positive impact on people and planet. We also think that for that to happen, we must redefine how we do things to break out of the climate echo chamber, stop the greenwashing, and let science and data lead the way. Because we are in a rampant climate crisis, and even though business leaders throughout the automotive industry are getting very good at delivering climate commitments left and right, the production of cars is still increasing, along with the emissions they produce. They are increasing when they should have started decreasing in order for us to stay within the safe level of humanity and stay on the 1.5-degree pathway. It pains me to say it, but even though we might feel like we're witnessing an electric revolution, the sales of electric cars are still too small to have the impact we need in 2021. That's why we at Polestar want to accelerate the transition to electric mobility. And as we now approach COP26, we at Polestar will do our best to address this very important issue. How can we as an industry show up on time and make use of this amazing scalable climate solution, electric vehicles? Not all industries can actually say that they have found this scalable climate solution, which makes our responsibility to implement ours as soon as possible even bigger. At COP26, we want to inject hope, share what we do and know, and inspire bolder commitments and ambitious targets. For example, for when to stop selling fossil fuel cars and fossil fuel altogether. We are a young company, founded in a time where we so clearly know the negative impact business can have on the environment and people, but also that there are solutions out there that can turn those negative impacts into positive ones. So it's actually very logical that sustainability is firmly embedded within our core. Our mission is to improve society by accelerating the shift to sustainable mobility. And we are not saying that we are the best, but we certainly want to be the ones who try the hardest. We know that businesses daring to innovate and design solutions that meet the world's needs, like safeguarded ecosystems, human health and well-being, will not only be key, but they will also flourish in this new era that we are in. By recognizing this and working towards it, we know that we are future-proofing our business. As a design-driven company, we can overcome the greatest obstacle to sustainable development, our own lack of imagination and exponential thinking. Instead of just saying that we want to improve society, we aim to envision the society we want and create demand for solutions that needs to be developed. At Polestar, we see this world that has embraced climate neutrality, circularity, transparency, and inclusion, 4 powerful drivers for sustainability. This is what we base our strategy on, and I'll tell you about some great actions we're taking relating to climate and transparency. A cornerstone in our sustainability work at Polestar is life cycle assessment, LCAs. It's a powerful tool to assess the impact of the choices we make throughout the product development, and also, which I will get to later, something that can promote transparency towards consumers. LCAs consider a range of factors in a car's life cycle, from supply to manufacture to recycling, and can be used to calculate a product's climate impact in one easily understood number. During the development of Polestar 2, we also got to develop a robust LCA methodology, because the methodology you choose matters. The calculations pointed out the sources of emissions and where we must focus our efforts. And they showed that Polestar 2 leaves the factory gates with a carbon footprint of 26 tons. We also clearly saw the Polestar 2 has a lower footprint over its lifetime than a comparable petrol car, regardless if charged with global electricity mix or wind power. But if charged with the latter, the positive impact becomes huge. You can halve the greenhouse gas emissions if you choose a Polestar 2 and charge it with renewable energy compared to if you choose a petrol car. And our LCA methodology is conservative, so that number is not overestimated. This is the kind of impact we need to have now in 2021. But we also so clearly saw we now need to be braver and go for net zero emissions. Now that we know where the emissions stem from, we need to take action to start decreasing, to bend the emissions curve within this decade. So we set ourselves a moonshot goal with a purpose to create a sense of urgency amongst our own designers, engineers, and purchasers, but also in the industry as a whole. We want to inspire rethinking, innovation, passion, and creative ideas. We decided to create a truly climate-neutral car by 2030, a car that will leave the factory gates with net zero greenhouse gas emissions. We say truly climate-neutral because we will not rely on offsetting. Instead, we will focus on eliminating emissions and change the way we make cars today. We are very consciously ignoring the voices telling us that this goal, or a quick transition to electric mobility for that matter, is not realistic. We are tired of those voices. Those voices are the whole reason we are in this mess. I often get the question, what if we get to 2030 and Polestar fails to deliver? My answer is that this is so much bigger than Polestar. If the automotive industry cannot put one climate-neutral car model on the market by 2030, we will have failed collectively. My hope is that this will be a very collaborative project where industry actors join in because we share this vision. The project involves 3 phases: research, advanced engineering, and product development. Collaboration with suppliers, researchers, schools, civil society organizations, and other companies, small and big, will be key. We have a clear wish list consisting of technologies, materials, processes that needs to be addressed. There are 20,000 components or more in a car today. We need to get down to zero on all of those. Circular solutions, energy efficiency, renewable energy sources, and carbon capture technologies will all play a pivotal part, as will transparency. This leads me to the last message I have for you today. At Polestar, we have set out to become the world's most transparent car company. And that is because we see transparency as a key driver for sustainability. It will help us build trust among our consumers who have so little trust in the car industry today. They are one of the biggest driving forces in this change. Without consumers, we cannot speed up the transition to electric mobility. It will also help us share our knowledge so that we as an industry can join in and focus on the solutions that actually have an impact. This is why we publish our LCAs, both the result and full methodology. It's also why we put out a call to action, encouraging all car companies to do the same. It's a simple step, but with a very powerful impact. It's also why we decided to pilot blockchain to trace cobalt from raw material to Polestar 2. It was the first car on the market where blockchain was used to trace this risk mineral. We know that traceability is kind of the holy grail of sustainability. If we can trace minerals and materials which travel through supply chains lined with human rights violations, environmental pollution, and corruption, it will enable us to see and act, to control and measure. Right now, we are also exploring blockchain technology to find ways to track the CO2 throughout our supply chains. We are directing our transparency efforts directly to our customers also. In our product sustainability declaration, we can today show them the carbon footprint for our models along with traced risk minerals. It will let them follow our progress towards climate neutrality, regardless if we have bumps in the way or see a continuous steady improvement. When we get to 2030, Polestar Zero Sustainability Declaration will clearly show that it comes with net zero greenhouse gas emissions cradle to gate. It's the biggest challenge we could have set for ourselves, and it will become even harder as we get closer to zero. I'm going to be honest, we don't know exactly how we will get there. But if we don't put all of our strength towards this goal, we will never figure it out. So let's not waste another minute.